Entry point would be, chart it.
No, no. It could reverse down. Did it make a double top on a hard time frame?
Yeah, looks like it up here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It would be a better entry if it did cross that resistance.
Yeah, if it was above here, it would have been good, but I think it's too close. I mean, it's
Where's my charger?
3 pips, pretty far off. Let's see what else we got. And index, and how much that fell? That's right. Oh, yeah. That's a crazy gap from market.
Oh wow.
Dropped like, dang, that's crazy. 16,000.
I wonder the US 30. How's US 30 looking?
Horrible. All the indices are looking bad. Yeah, see that, a crazy gap for all of them on open.
Yeah.
6,000 pips. Yeah, that'd be crazy because if you're holding it, I mean, it would have dropped, but the spread would have been crazy. So you probably would have got stopped out, even if you were.
US 30 looking horrible right now.
This is probably gonna come back down. I was thinking about scalping it. Right
I'm
here.
still debating on whether or not I should drop this money until he goes this week.
I'm still waiting for my. Well, I had the first. I think the other one's wrong right now. Aaron,
10 minutes.
Okay, I thought you switched to your laptop.
No, I've been on my laptop.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the room's getting filled right now. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let us know. We can check out any pair for you guys, or if you guys want us to look back on anything, we analyze stuff for you guys. So you were looking at AU earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the trend's still neutral, so I probably wouldn't take anything. It looks like it was probably trying to switch up, but it looks like it's coming back down. Because it was in a heavy downtrend right here. Came up for reversal, but then it looks like it's coming back down.
How's UCAD looking?
UCAD, let me pull it up right now. It's on support, but it looks like it's correcting back upwards. So it was a heavy uptrend since March 16th.
Lisa had a question regarding GU.
Lisa, can you show us what happened to GU? Yeah, Lisa. GU was a good trade, but it looks like when the market opened, there was like crazy manipulation going on. Because right here, we were in profit when you first entered. So when you first entered the trade, we were in profit about 15 pips. And then suddenly it just shot up 100. Let's see how far it shoot up. It shot up 120 pips like in 10 minutes. Let me go to a smaller time frame so we can look at it. Yeah, so as you can see here, we were in profit. And then for some reason, it just reversed heavily. So in about, show me this here. So yeah, in about 25 minutes, yeah, price just shot up like crazy, 128 pips, and that's not normal, especially even on market open. This was something that we couldn't predict. Like, there's no way that we could see this coming because there was no news announced, and I mean there really wasn't anything going on during that time. Let me see if I could see if there's anything announced. I don't think so. Aaron, do you see any news for that one?
Yeah, I'll double check right now.
Yeah, no, the last news was 17 hours ago. So there's no way that this affected, that specific trade. Looks like. Yeah, it doesn't really look like there's anything specific. GU technical outlook, but others.
Yes, I hear you. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, doing it tonight, bro. Making that move. He goes away.
You're gonna make a deposit?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
See what he said. Is there anything wrong from it?
Y'all making me jealous.
Yeah, not really. There's not really much that we could have learned from this because it was just a sudden move. There was no technicals that really affected it. Here, I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna replay it back to when we entered. So at the time of entry, support was nowhere near it. And even if we looked on the higher time frames, you can see support it was the same way down here. Support was 68 pips away. So there wasn't really anything indicating that even on the 2 hour support was about like 100 pips away. So there was nothing indicating technically that price would reverse. You can see here on the farther time frames, there's no support even nearby. So that reversal was just a random movement. It wasn't really something that we could have predicted. So if you go forward one chart, one candle, yeah, as you can see, it literally just shot up like with no warning. So yeah, for this trade, that was just market manipulation. There's nothing we could really learn from it. It's just something that happens every once in a while. Yeah, no, definitely. It looked like a really good trade, and that's why I called it. Usually, I don't call trades that early on Sundays, but it looked like such a great trade. Um, so I figured, we could take it, but then this happened, and it looked like it was coming back down, but it looks like it might test the resistance again before it comes back down. So I'm leaving my sell stop right here just in case. But if not, I might take it off and just enter something else. It looks like this pair is just being manipulated way too much now. Yeah, and that's why I usually don't trade on Sundays. But like I said earlier, the trade just looked really good. It got approved by me and Aaron, so we figured it'd be good to just enter. But I mean, we weren't expecting it to reverse 120 pips. We were expecting it to pull back maybe 10 or 20 pips, but not 120. Yeah, I'd leave it alone too, just for now. Um, I might take it a lot easier just today because, after seeing something like this, odds are price is going to get manipulated again, maybe in the opposite direction to correct. And that's why I have a sell stop. But I'm not gonna, make any more market entries or entries that are too close. Yeah, I know. Last Sunday was crazy. I mean, I feel like every Sunday is kind of crazy. Like the Sunday, I think the 2 Sundays ago when we made like 500,000 pips in just a few hours.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have a whole week. The week has just started. I mean, this is just one loss. We're still up pretty heavily from last week, so I don't think. Yeah, personally, I don't think this should affect anyone too heavily. Let me see where we're at from last week.
Unless you over leveraged.
Yeah, unless you over leverage, then yeah, you're gonna be in some trouble. But if you look at our results from last week, we're pretty. That's just indices. Let's see for forex. Yeah, we were at 427 pips last week. So if you lost 100 pips today, I mean, you lost 100 off that. Or even if you're looking at the total. So our total forex pairs for forex profits for the month of March is 3,091. So if we lost 100 off that, we'd still be at 2,900 pips. So it's just give or take. We're gonna bounce back regardless. See after the dotted lines. Yeah, that's correct. So the dotted lines, that's the K2SR indicator. So if we didn't have that there, there'd be nothing there. But since we have the K2SR indicator, this will automatically plot the strongest support resistance for us. Calvin, can you go over how to take these signals and apply them on TradingView? Yeah, sure. So generally, let me just go to the signal. All right, cool. So this is how the signal works. Aaron, is that you?
We're doing what?
It's like you're rolling in some plastic.
I know that was me.
All right, so let's go back. Yeah, so Kelvin, when you see a signal like this, it basically says to sell GBP USD, and this will give you the entry points, target 1, target 2, target 3, and the stop loss. So when you get something like this, and you want to enter on TradingView, all you really have to do is hit sell, and then you hit, depending on where price was, I think price was above it during that time when I sent this. So if price is above the entry, I'm just going to go back and so if price is below the entry, then it would be a limit order. But if price was above the entry, it'd be a stop order. And it's kind of hard to mess this up because if one doesn't apply, then you just put the opposite one. Like as you can see here, current price is above the entry. If you go to the real-time data, so the limit order wouldn't work. But if you wanted to enter this and price was above, you just click stop, and then this will work. So let me go back to the signal. Yeah, so right here, it have the entry point. So you could just copy that and then put it in your entry right here. Next, you go to target number 3, which is the farthest target. You put that in take profit right here. And then you grab the stop loss and put that under stop loss. And then in order to determine what your position size would be, you just change your risk percentage to 3%, and then it automatically change it for you. It's going to show red for me because the smallest lot size I can trade is a 1 standard lot, so I can't trade anything under than 100,000 position size, and that's where it works for me. But for you guys, it's going to be different since you guys are trading a normal account. You can trade smaller position sizes, and this won't be red for you. And that's pretty much how you you enter the trade. The reason why we have 3 different targets here is if you're using the exit strategy. So I'm going to plot those on the chart for you so you can see where they were located. So we'll put profit target 1 here. Kelvin, do you understand how to use the exit strategy? Okay, cool. Yeah. So profit target 1 and profit target 2 would be used determining, like if you were using the exit strategy. So say if price moved down to target 1, I'll mark it on here so you guys can see. Yeah, so basically when price goes down to target 1, you would move your stop loss. So at this time, stop loss would have been up here. Let's color this red so you guys can tell the difference. So when you first enter the trade, the stop loss would be up here. And when price comes down to target 1, so price comes down to target 1, you're going to move your stop loss to a little bit below break even so you make minimal profits, but you eliminate all your risk. And after that, once price reaches profit target number 2, you just move your stop loss to target 1, and then the same once it moves down to profit target 3. But at that point, you'd hit profit target. So yeah, if you know how to use the exit strategy, that's what the first 2 targets are meant for. Unless you're using the other ways that we apply it. So if you're able to sell off half of your position, then you could do that. But this would be easier for a lot of people that aren't able to do that. Does that answer your question, Kelvin, how to use our signals? Cool, yeah. Yeah, the exit strategy works in a lot of different ways. I mean, you don't have to use it exactly how it's demonstrated in the course. That way is a little bit harder because I know if you're using it that way, you're gonna have to you'll be exiting at about 25%, 50%, and 75. And this is probably the most conservative way to trade it, but a lot of people don't understand how to do that. It makes it a little too complicated. So if you want to just do it where you adjust it as price reaches certain targets, then you can do it that way too. They all work. It just depends on how risky you want to be or how conservative you want to be. Okay, so when using the exit strategy, do you create new orders? No, so let me show you. So say if I enter if I enter this trade, it would have been for let me just type it out. Initial order is so if you're using that exit strategy, wait, so which exit strategy are you talking about? Are you talking about the one that's on the course or the one that's talked about in the signals? Okay, so for the course, how to determine the amount of stop loss? How to edit your order? So once you have an active order going, you can just double click on it. I don't have one right now because we got stopped out of the GU. But if you have an active order, you just like, are you trying to sell half your order, or are you trying to close the entire one, or just move your stop loss? Because I mean, I'm not sure which exit strategy you're using. If you're using the one that's on the course, then we're just adjusting this. Okay, yeah, move the stop loss. So I mean, I can't see. Okay, I can't show you right now live because I don't have an active trade open. But I mean, later on, if I have an active trade, it's real simple. Like, normally you'll have like, it'll look like this. You'll have like position. It'll say something like that, like over here on your end. And if you want to adjust it, so it's gonna have that, and then it's gonna have another one up here that says stop loss, and then there's gonna be another one over here that says profit target. When you have an active position like that, all you need to do is click on this. There's going to be a button here that says position. You're just going to double click on it, and then you can adjust the parameters. So if your stop loss is 100, you can move that to 0, so it's at break even, or you can move it in profit, and just instead of putting a whole number, you'll put a negative number so that it'll be in profit instead of in the negative. But once we have a live trade, I can show you. I just don't have one right now. So, but this is exactly what it's going to look like. I'm not sure if you've noticed that, if you've put in a trade before, or actually here, yeah, you can do that too. You can do that too, like what Lisa's saying. There'll be a line here for your stop loss, and then you can just drag it down. So if you want to move this to break even, you'll just move it down like that, and then it'll adjust. If you want to move it in profit, you can just keep moving it down like that. It's pretty simple once you actually do it live. And if you probably haven't done it yet, then it's probably a little confusing. But once you do it live, it's actually pretty simple. Yeah, I mean, when applying the K2 strategy based off the trend meter and signal, how do you determine the amount of pips for stop loss and target profit for these high and low points? Trying to analyze that stuff. Yeah, so the way that I do it, I'm going to make a new video on the course for it. It's just a lot simpler. So what I do is, yeah, wasn't there I thought this was red down here when you enter this. Oh, there we go. Okay. So so Jaime, so when I want to enter this trade right here, what I do is I zoom out, I click this reset chart button, and then I go to the short tool right here on the left side, and then I just click on the open of the following candle, and then it automatically plots for you. So that's usually how I determine what my stop loss and TP is. But since this is too far, this is 242 pips. That's a huge risk. The max that I'll set it to is 100. So that's pretty much how it's set. But if you're going to do it manually, then you could have, it's like what you said earlier, you put at the previous swing, which would be up here. Should be about 150. And then I'd put it the same for the profit target over here. And that's pretty much how you would do it if you did it manually. Yeah, I prefer to just have the computer do it for me. So like I said, I just zoom out. I'll use the short tool. And I'll just click right there so it automatically fills for me. And then it basically goes to the previous swing like it did earlier. Except if you're zoomed out all the way, it'll move the swing like to up here or up here. Yeah, it's a lot easier if you just let the computer do it for you. It's going to pick the correct swing for you. Or enter a trade. Can I enter without stop loss? Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, Fadima, you could enter with a TP and without a stop. I mean, with a stop loss, but without a TP. I usually do that if I think it's going to move a lot. So in that situation, you could just move your stop loss down and then just ride profit as it keeps going down. Yeah, no problem, Jaime. See another question. Javon, can you please give a trading analysis? Yeah, sure, like a scalping one. I'll do that. I'm gonna try to find a pair that is trending heavily there. Something like this. It's trending pretty heavily. So yeah, if you wanted to scalp with the K2 strategy, the 5 minutes pretty good. So basically, you would just change the parameters. So you would leave the K2 indicator fine, just as it is. But the only thing you would change is you would change the K2 trend meter. So the trend will it'll give you the overall trend on the smaller time frames. So generally we have it set at 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, and 4 hours. So you get the intraday overall trend. But if you're going to be scalping, you can go on the shorter time frame. So you can go to 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, and an hour. But it's also going to be a little harder for you to find trends because, especially if you're trading these type of market conditions, the market is bouncing around a lot. It's not really trending in a certain direction. Here's an example here. Okay, so now we have it's a downward trend because the trend meter is red down here. And we're basically going to apply the same exact strategy, but on time frame. You find an entry here. Right here, we got a red signal, and the trend meter is red down here, but we wouldn't have taken this one because the candle was bullish. That'd have to be bearish, so it could be a valid entry. Right, so right here, we have an entry. So I do the same thing I was doing previously. I'd zoom out and then just put a short position right there. And this would be, I mean, this isn't even, honestly, it's hard to scalp when trading in these conditions because price is moving so fast. Normally, well, this is 46.8 pips. This wouldn't be considered a scalp because it's moving so fast. But generally, so if we weren't taking pips into a consideration, we could let it run. And then see, it moves way too fast. I don't think right now is a good time for you to be scalping unless you know what you're doing. Because the problem is price is moving, it's moving too fast, and it's moving in directions that, if you're not an experienced trader, it's not going to be easy for you to spot. Because you can see here that price was ranging. It wasn't really trending in a direction. And 46 pips is a lot if you're going to be scalping. That's like basically a normal intraday trade. So like personally, I would just keep away from scalping right now. But if you go to like where, Aaron, do you know like a time when conditions were decent?
Your voice kind of got low. Say that one more time.
Do you know like a time when like it would be good to show scalp trades? Because the problem is Jay trying to look at scalp trades, but it's like honestly, it's not a good time to scalp unless you know what you're doing because price is moving too fast.
Yeah, the market is super volatile right now to be scalping.
Yeah, like unless you know what you're doing,
like normally when you scalp, when people scalp, they normally risk like 10 to 15 pips, and right now it's not the time. It's not the right time to be risking like 10 to 15 pips.
Yeah, because you can see each candle moves like, it's moving like 20 pips. Yeah, it's moving like 20, 40 pips right now. So, it's not really, even if you try to scalp, price is moving so fast that you're usually gonna get stopped out really quick. But I'm trying to go back to where time was normal. Let me see if I could find
like this year, January.
Yeah, no, this year has been pretty crazy. I'm trying to go to see where like candles are moving normally. Anyway. Let's see. Yeah, so maybe like January was fine. Yeah, see like right here on this is something where it would work when price is moving normally. Like on these 5-minute candles, price is only moving like 10 pips max. Like here, it's like 3 to 5 pips. See, like within 2 hours, price only moves like about 15 pips. But if you're trading right now, price is moving like 40, 100 pips, every 10, 15 minutes, depending on which pair you're trading. But if you're trading normal, like during normal time, so this would be a valid entry right here. You just zoom out, put your short position right here. I mean, this would be and as you can see here, when you do that and zoom out, it only shows about 10 pips. On that last example I was showing you, the target profit and the stop loss was about like 40, 50 pips. So you can tell that there's a huge difference in volatility. But if you enter this trade, like you would have hit profit target there. But let's look for another one moving forward. So here's another entry right here. Where there we go. Yeah, and if you're scalping, it's going to be hard for you to use the K2SR because you'd have to find the so you'd find the support on the higher time frames, because the problem with the 5-minute is that price can be bouncing around so much that you're not going to be able to determine where the actual support is. So as you can see here, the real support's way down here. So if you're following the version 3 of the strategy, I know it says not to enter when it's too close to the K2SR, but the problem is when you're on the shorter time frames, the K2SR is always going to be near it, like regardless. So even if we look back on this trade over here, the SR is pretty close, because I know the requirement requires that it's about 5 to 15 pips. It's going to be like 12 pips away. It's probably the same over here. Yeah, see, it's going to be less than 10 pips. So when you're scalping, you don't really need to use the K2SR, but if you do want to, we'd recommend you go on the higher time frames and determine the support from there. I'm going to go back over here. Yeah, so let's go back to this trade. This was the entry from, I think that was the other one. So that one hit, and we were looking at the next one that was coming up. So this one right here, we probably just avoid the K2SR for scalping. But if you were entering this, you'd zoom out, and you're in short position here, and then let it run. Hey, J-Ron, have you looked at the pullback strategy? Okay. Account balance did you? Yeah, the pullback strategy is actually a lot easier to use for scalping. I'm probably going to change the videos because the market conditions right now are not good for the original scalping strategy. It's good for intraday, but not for scalping, like in general. But I'll show you how I scalp. I think I went over it in the previous videos. I'm going to put these back to the normal settings. 30. 2 hour. Yeah, so the way that I personally would scalp around these market conditions, I would go to so I would just set up a normal entry like this. Hey, Aaron, are you saying something?
No.
Oh, okay, you keep saying that you're talking, but it like breaks up every couple seconds. All right, let's see.
It might be the rain outside.
It might be. Yeah, it looks. It sounds like your voice is going in and out. That might just be the rain. But yeah, anyway, so this is how I would scalp during these conditions. So I would enter a full position intraday. So this would be the full move. And once I have this set up, I'll go on the lower time frame, like 5-minute. So now you already have the direction set up. You know that price is going to be going downwards since we had the entry on the intraday. So now you'd wait for a buy signal and you run the pullback strategy. So right here, you get a buy signal and it doesn't match with the trend meter down here. So in this situation, we'd enter a pullback entry right here. And this would be for 48.7 pips. Just let it run. And it looks like price pulled back. I mean, yeah, back to what we were saying earlier, like this is just not the time to scalp. Because even for a scalp move, 48.7 pips. And if you're scalping, you're trying to hit like 10 or 15 pips. And if that's what you're doing previously, you would have hit them right here. But if you're going for the full 48 pip move, I mean, you'll get a lot of market manipulation like you did right here. And it came straight back down. Yeah, no, price is just not moving how normally. You can see here, even though it's trending down, price is like ranging around this area. So Carlos, what did you say? Do you still have a sell stop in GU? Yeah, I do. I still have it set up. We go down. But yeah, J-Ron, if you look at the entries on the big moves, like how it is right here, like you can tell that like with these type of market conditions, you know, it's a lot better just take the intraday moves, because if you're scalping, there's a lot of irregular movements. Like it doesn't look like it's a big reversal right here, but if you're on the 5-minute chart, it's like a huge pullback. I think it was right here. So let's go to GU. I'm going to show you the GU from earlier. Yeah, I still have a sell stop right here. But price hasn't come back down yet. So we're probably going to cancel that. But it looks like GU is moving a little weird today. Or just in general. Let's see. Aaron, was there any other questions? I haven't really seen.
Nope. Well, actually, Carlos sent you a question. I don't know if you answered it about the sell stop regarding GU.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have a sell stop over here. It's the same entry as previously. It's right here. Well, this would have been the full move. So that call earlier, if we had the full stop loss setup, it would have been way out here. But the problem is that's pretty far out for most people. And that's why I moved down to 200. And that's why I think it's still coming down, because it hasn't made the full move to stop loss just yet. So I still have a sell stop order set up right here. So if it comes down, it's going to trigger it. It'll trigger it right there. And then I'm anticipating it to come all the way down. There's support right here, so it might bounce off. So premium chat. Hey, Aaron, did you say the meeting ended? Did it close and then reopen?
No, my laptop was tripping again. It's all good now.
Oh yeah, I just saw your message right now. Just trying to see if there's anything else that came up right now. Let's see. All right, Jaime had a question. Jaime said, have you gone over the pullback strategy difference? Yeah. So let me see if I can find an example. So Jaime wants to know, have you gone over the pullback strategy, the difference between buy and sell limit and buy and stop. So the buy limit and the sell limit versus the buy stop and the sell stop are two different order types. They're not different strategies, but they're different order types. So say for this entry right here, I'm gonna move it up one candle. So if you wanted to enter this trade, Jaime, since price is above the entry, let me just put a line right here so you can see what the entry is. So the entry is right here. And if you wanted to enter this trade for a sell, you'd have to enter at a sell stop order because you can't put a sell limit order if price is above the entry point. But if price was down here, below the entry, then it'd be a sell limit. But if price is above, it'd be a sell stop. So that's the difference between those types of orders. And the difference is the same with buy stop. So if you're trying to enter a buy order going upwards, if price was right here, you'd enter it as a buy limit. But if price was below, then it'd be a buy stop. And it's pretty easy to apply when you're trading it live, because if you're trying to enter a specific trade for a sell, like you can see here that you don't have the option to enter. Let me just change the price so it can stick. So if you were going to enter this trade and price was above it, then you couldn't enter a limit. Even if you try to enter it, it's grayed out, so there's no way you could enter this trade. But since price is above it, you'd have to enter a stop order. So this would be a sell stop. And you can see here that it's not grayed out, and you're able to enter this trade. So that's the difference between limit orders and stop orders. Like once you do it real time, you won't be as confused because it's not going to let you put in the opposite order. There's only going to be one that you can put in. But I'll go back and go over the pullback strategy so you can see how that works. So generally the first, let me just go to another pair that doesn't have marking on it. Go to Euros. All right, cool. So we'll go back somewhere over here. So first, I'm going to go over the original strategy, just so you can see the difference. So this is going to be the original K2 strategy. So the first requirement, there has to be a K2 signal present. Second, the K2 trend meter must match K2 signal. And the third one, price isn't within 15 pips from K2SR. All right, so the first requirement is K2 signal. And as you can see here, there's a sell signal. Next, the K2 trend meter must match the K2 signal. So as you can see down here, the K2 trend meter is red. So now that we have red and red, this gives you a valid entry. Next, for extra confirmation, you're going to need to make sure that price is within 10 to 15 pips from the K2. Price isn't within 10 to 15 pips from the K2SR, which is down here, and we'll measure that. about 36 pips away. So that gives us the green light to enter this trade. The reason why we don't want price within 10 to 15 pips from the K2SR is because if you understand how support resistance works, price generally projects off support like that. It'll do something like that, like it did right here. Price came down, tested support, and then shot upwards. And odds are that'll probably happen again here. So since price is 36 pips away, that gives you the green light to enter this trade. And to set up your profit target stop loss, you just zoom out, use the short tool, and then you just plot it on your chart like that. And there goes your entry. And if you wanted to enter this trade through TradingView, you just have to right click right here, and then you can hit trade, and then you'll just enter a sell order. So you'd get your entry point. You'd enter, depending on what price was, you either set up a stop, sell stop or a limit stop, and then a sell stop or a sell limit, and then you'll just put in the parameters. This isn't exactly where price is right now, so I can't enter at that price. But this is just an example of how to enter that. All right, then you just let it run. And there you go. You would have hit profit target in about, since it took quite some time, about 13 hours. In about 13 hours, you would have hit 89.3 pips. So if you took this with a standard lot, you would have taken 89.3 pips times, so 1.0 standard lot equals $10 per pip. And if you took that times 10, you could have made $893 just from that trade. So that would be the gain on that trade. So now I'm going to show you the pullback strategy. It's basically the same strategy, except the difference is that you're going to be making a different entry point. So this would be an example for a pullback entry. Let me see if there's any messages real quick. Aaron, is there any questions? I'm not following the chat right now. Okay, cool.
Nope.
All right.
Last
cool.
question was from
Hyman.
Know Thyself.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So now I'm going to go over the pullback strategy. So this is the K2 pullback strategy. Basically the same thing. So Raj, yeah, it's recording. So I'll have this on YouTube a little later. All right, so for the K2 pullback strategy, it's basically the same thing. It's just a different entry point. So for one, there has to be a K2 signal present. Next, so this is where it differs. So now, instead of matching the K2 signal with the K2 trend meter, you want them to be opposite. So K2 trend meter does not match. Number 3, K2 price is not within 10-15 pips from the K2SR. Aaron, can you drop the link for the YouTube on the Zoom chat?
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, if you can do that, thanks. Yeah, Jaime. So look, this is the difference between the strategy. The main difference is just that these don't match now. So in the previous original strategy, does that link work, Aaron? I don't think that's the right link. I think you got to check.
I got you now, bro.
No, that's good actually. It redirects you, so that link's cool. All right, Jaime. So basically, the difference with this strategy is that the signal and the trend meter don't match. So first, there needs to be a K2 signal present, which is right here. You have a buy signal. And the next, the K2 trend meter doesn't match it. So the overall trend is bearish. So in this situation, we're identifying this candle and signal as a pullback candle. Because it's going against the overall trend. We're only anticipating this to pull back, slightly before it comes back down and corrects to the overall trend. So if you have these two lined up, then this gives you a valid entry for a K2 pullback entry. And lastly, just want to make sure that price isn't within 10 to 15 pips from the K2 SR. As we explained earlier, if price reaches the K2 SR, odds are it's probably going to bounce off, like it did right here. Test the SR and bounced off. It's not always going to test it and bounce off, but we want to take trades that are higher probability, so we don't want to take trades that are too close to the SR, because if we do that, then price is going to reverse, and we might get stopped out. All right, so we're going to enter this exactly how we did previously. We're going to zoom out, use the short tool, but in this situation, we're not going to be entering on the open of the following candle. We're going to be entering our sell stop order at the low of the signal candle. So the low is going to be right here. This is the lowest point of this candle. And there's our setup there. So now we're trying to shoot for 56.3 pips. And basically when you set this order up, now all you have to do is just wait for price to come back down. So price hasn't triggered our order yet. And as you can see right here, price triggered our order. So now we're inside the trade. And now we're just waiting for it to come down here at profit target. And it did right there. So in about, we entered right here, and then a profit target hit in about 2 hours. So in about 2 hours, you made 56.3 pips. So if we did the math on that, just like I did previously, you make a 56.3 plus 56.3 pip gain. If you're trading standard lot, $10 a pip, and then you'll have 56.3 pips times $10 equals $563 profit, 2 hours. I mean, do you get how that works? It's basically the same strategy. All you're doing now is the opposite. So instead of matching, the signal with the trend meter, you want it to be opposite, because you're trying to catch it. You're trying to catch price as price is retracing, and then you just want to re-enter as price comes back down. So are there any other questions? Yeah, definitely. It's a lot easier to see me, show you live, so that you can see exactly how it's broken down. But it's I think this is actually a lot easier than the original strategy. The problem with the original strategy is you have to be on the computer, or you have to be, you have to be ready to take that trade. When you take a pullback entry, you don't really have to be watching it. You kind of just place the trade, and then as price comes back down and triggers it, you're automatically in. See if there's any signals right now. Aaron, did you see if the indices are back open?
I'll check it right now. I think they should be.
It looks like the German open. I don't think US 30 open. Yeah, it looks like US 30 just opened back up.
Yeah, it's open. It's back open.
Yeah, so if anything, I mean, this would probably be a good place to put a sell stop for a scalp entry. The problem is we're not sure how price is going to move.
Hey, which chart are you looking at? There's a buy signal on mine.
On US 30?
Yeah.
Nah, so you can only trade. I only recommend trading US 30 if you have at least $1,000 account. The problem is, so if you have a $200 account, like you see how much this moved. This moved about 1,000 pips. So with your $200 account, as soon as you enter that trade, you automatically would have lost. And you'd have lost your whole account within seconds. And that's why you can't trade, indices on such a small account. Aaron, where did you see the buy signal?
Yeah, I was looking at. I guess I'm looking at a different.
Different data.
Yeah, I guess so. Which one are you looking at?
Rwanda.
Okay, that's why. Let's see.
I don't think the other one's, because I used to look at the other chart too until Bilal showed me the Rwanda one. So we got a couple signals here. We got a signal for UCAD, a signal for your NASDAQ. Let's check it out. We got a sell signal for UCAD, but it doesn't match. It's not matching the trend meter. The trend meter is indecisive right now, so we'll have to enter that. NASDAQ. We got a buy signal on NASDAQ. This might be a good move for a K2 pullback entry. So I'm gonna take this. Yeah, so this is a valid K2 entry. We go back here.
How many pips are you risking for that trade?
I'm not sure about NASDAQ. It's 2,694, but I think NASDAQ is cheaper than US 30. So technically, it's not going to be as big a risk. I mean, it's still going to be risky, but I think I could see it coming down at least like halfway.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, so I'm probably I'll call this.
So around like 2,000 pips should be around like $200, right? With a 0.01.
No, it's gonna be a little more. I think. I don't know, because for US 30 it's a little more. But for US 30, it's closer to a pip to a dollar ratio. But I'm not sure how it is on.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make this call in the premium. So if you guys are on the premium, in the premium channel group, I'm gonna put this trade out for you guys. I'm gonna be actively watching this too. So,
Well, time to make this deposit. Hey, Sean.
yeah, what's up?
Hey, when you made a deposit, what Hugo's way you had to use was it Vload?
Yeah, I use Vload. Vload's cool. I gotta get my money back pretty quick when I make my daily withdrawals.
All right, let me check it out.
Yeah, so this is how I set up the signals. $26.94. gonna try to see. So this is 2694. I'd like to. Actually, I'm gonna move this a little lower. TP1 around. Man, price is moving crazy. I might not even call this one, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at MetaTrader 4 right now, and it gapped down a lot.
Yeah, it's moving a little crazy. You know, fuck, I'm gonna put it in anyways. All right, I think I got this set up. Right, cool, sent it out. If you guys are in the premium, you guys got that signal, so you guys will see exactly what I'll be taking. Let's set this as alert.
It's moving down a little bit now.
All right, J-Ron, I use Hugo's Way just for indices though. I don't use it for anything else. Yeah.
Okay, now it's coming down.
Set alert here to stop. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with like how NASDAQ moves, but I mean it's worth giving it a try. I think I put the TPs a little too close, but it's all right. I mean, the main goal is to hit full TP anyways. All right, cool. I'm gonna set this up in my MT4 real quick. Yeah, I'm just gonna put I'm just gonna use one micro because I'm not familiar. I'll put a sell stop. At 66, 1.5, and then I have stop loss at 69, 49.9, and then I got the take profit at 6411.1. All right, cool. Got it set up. So that trade's cool. Yeah, D. If your account's less than 1,000, I wouldn't recommend taking any indices trades. Reason why is because it's super volatile. So if you can see here, you know this trade's only been on for like a couple, like 5-10 minutes, It's already pulled back about like 1,000 pips. So if you have an account smaller than 1,000, you would have gone automatically stopped out already. The reason why you have to put that much in your account so you can survive this drawdown, because the drawdown on indices moves a lot faster than normal forex. These are indices, right? Yeah, Jaime. These are indices. You can't trade them on forex.com. I use Hugo's Way, but only for indices. I don't use Hugo's Way for anything else. Let me go back to the question. So Joe said sometimes when you have a sell stop of, so you can, do you think selling at market execution? Hey Joe, so what do you mean by let me go to UCAD. So yeah, so Joe basically asked, would you have the sell stop for which type of order, Joe? Because if it's a pullback entry, then it would be a sell stop regardless, or a buy stop depending on which direction it's going. So say if you took this trade right here, this is a valid K2 pullback entry. So right here, this would have to be a buy stop. If price is below the current entry point. So as you can see right here, when price is below the entry, it's going to be a buy stop. But if price is above the entry, then it's going to be a buy limit. So if you were going to take this trade for UCAD, this would be a buy stop. So you'd enter right here, and then it swing up, and then hit top target, I think. No, yeah, for this situation, you would have moved your stop loss up because you're using the exit strategy. So once price reached over here 50%, or not even 50%, if price reached 25%, you would have moved your stop loss to break even. And then as it moved to 50%, you move your stop loss to 25. And then, yeah, if you understand how the exit strategy works, you would have gone out somewhere around this area. But yeah, for your question, you were saying, do you think selling at market execution, are you talking about right now, like the current price? Let's see where it is currently. So it looks like you might be trying to enter a sell right here. But this criteria doesn't fit the K2 entry. So personally, I wouldn't have taken this trade. But if you were to take this, a normal sell trade, I mean, it looks like you have to enter at market because price is too close. Yeah, because I'm assuming you have a normal account. I have a DMA account, so my spreads are really tight. But on a normal account, you probably have like a five pip spread right now. So if you're in this area, I mean, it would have to be market because your broker probably wouldn't let you wouldn't let you enter this trade unless you're outside the spread. But yeah, generally I don't like to market. I usually like to enter either limit or stop depending on where price is at. So I'm gonna go back to the NASDAQ trade. Yeah, Pinky, everyone's muted because when it's unmuted, there's too much noise going on in the chat and no one can hear what I'm saying. But if you have a question, feel free to type it out. I mean, I could unmute you if you want. Just let me know if you want to ask this question out loud or if you want to just type it out. It's up to you. It looks like the NASDAQ's coming down. Well, said the S&P's coming down too. See where it's at. Yeah, they're all moving around about the same. So it looks like. Yeah, literally all of the indices are moving the same direction. So we've got the US 30 coming down, UK 100, SP 500. NASDAQ, Japan Index. They all have that same exact wick. So it looks like they're all going to be coming down soon. Honestly, I'm probably going to enter the US 30 trade call. So this is going to be a little scalp move right here. It's a little too big of a move, so I probably. It's a little risky though. All right, let me see. Look at the chat real quick. We're on the phone chat. Questions. Yeah, for GU, let me pull up GU, see what you guys are looking at.
Yeah, I think it shot up.
Yeah, try to. I mean, it's respecting the resistance. So the thing is, it might come up like it did right here. Maybe this. It might shoot up to resistance and come straight at. I'm still thinking whether to out this US 30 real quick. Looks like it could be coming down.
If I trade US 30, it might be tomorrow during US session.
In the US session.
Yeah. It could retrace before coming down heavy.
Yeah, I like to have this open so I can see. Yeah, I don't know. Like when open, it came down heavy, but yeah, I don't know what that was. So Roche, how do you scalp US 30 on the 5-minute charts? I'll share an example. So I usually use the pullback strategy. Yeah, so if you want to look at how I personally do it, let's go back over here. So this would be a pullback entry right here. Yeah, this would be a pullback, K2 pullback entry right here. Zoom out, like the entry right there. And once you have the intraday entry, then I move down to the 5-minute. And now basically you're waiting for this entry to enter. And as you can see there, the price was triggered. So now it's zoomed out. There's a sell stop right there. And then it looks like it's triggered, and then it hit prop target. So that'd be a scalp. See, the trade was entered right here, and then it hit profit target in about an hour. So in about an hour, you would have made 1,806 pips off this trade. So that's how I would enter a scalp. You do it again right here. I mean, this would have been 2 entries. So you would have entered that trade, and then there's another entry right here. So this is a valid K2 pullback entry. Put it entered right here. So Roach, do you have access to the K2 indicators? Because if you don't, then I mean, you want to be able to apply this. Do you have access to the strategy? All right, I'm just going to show you anyways. I mean, if you don't have it, then you can subscribe and get the strategy. But if you don't have the strategy, then it's going to be impossible for you to apply this. But anyways, so if you use the K2 pullback entry, I'll just type it up if you guys can see it. So for one, there needs to be a K2 signal present. Two, K2 trend meter not match signal. Three, price not within 10, 15 steps. K2 SR. So these are the requirements for the pullback entry. What you're gonna do here is you come out, and then you use the short tool. You click right there because you're gonna be entering at the low of this candle. And then right here you have the intraday move. So once you have the intraday move, you can move down to the 5-minute chart. And then from here, this is where you can enter scalp moves. So this is the full move here. And you're anticipating, price to trigger this move and move down here to fill the entire move. But you can also make scalp moves within. So you're gonna do the same thing, same requirements, but now on the 5-minute chart. So right here, same requirements. K2 signal present, there's a signal right here. Next, the K2 trend meter does not match the signal. As you can see here, the K2 trend meter is red and the signal is green. And then next, you just got to make sure that price isn't within 10 to 15 pips from the K2 SR. You're not going to go off the SR on the 5-minute because, as you can see here, price doesn't always respect it. It's not the same as if you were looking at it from a higher time frame. So what I would do is I would go on the higher time frame, like the 30-minute, and then I'd see how far the SR is from there. It's about 1,000 pips. So that gives you the green light that it's okay to enter this trade. So in order to determine where your profit target and stop loss is going to be, you're going to zoom out. You'll use the short tool again, and then you'll set it up right below it, just like you did previously. And then now, you're going to let it run until it fills. So it hasn't filled yet. We're waiting for it to come down and fill. There it goes. So on this candle, it filled it. So now you're inside the trade, and you're basically going to wait for it to the profit target, which you did right there. So if you were trading this with a micro lot, depending on your broker, so this scalp move would have been a gain of 1806, so plus 1,806 pip gain. If you're trading, depending on your broker, generally it's about $1 per pip. So if you made a gain of 1,806 times dollar, you'd make a gain of 1,806 USD. And see how long did that take? Entered right here. You would have made that gain in about an hour. Yeah. You checked in the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, Sebastian, it's going to depend on, what you're trading. Indices move a lot differently than normal forex pairs. But generally, I would use the K2SR on the 5-minute because the problem is there's a lot of noise on the 5-minute, and price is going to bounce around a lot. And the support resistance on the 5-minute is not as accurate as if you're looking on the higher time frame. So if you want to determine the more stable support resistance, then I would look on the 30-minute or the 1 hour, or even higher if you're trading on a higher time frame. So I mean, that would be one win there. You could have entered this again right here as well. Since there's another valid entry, it's a buy signal, but it doesn't match the stream meter. So you could have entered this right here, and then that'd be another win right there. And honestly, you could do it again. So let's keep moving forward and see if we find another entry. All right, so right here, there's another entry. So you zoom out, put a short position right here on the bottom of that candle, and then we do the same exact thing all over again. It's like it filled right there. So if you're using the exit strategy, as price reached 25% right here, you would have moved your stop loss to break even around this area. And then as price moved down to 50% down here, you would have moved your stop loss to 25%. So you probably would have got stopped out right here. So even if you got stopped out at about 25%, you still would have made about 600 to 700 pips. And if you're trading with a certain broker that offers dollar per pip, you probably would have made about $600 to $700. And let's see it enter right here. About 15 minutes. But the indices are, I mean, especially US 30, it moves very fast. Unless you understand how to trade this asset, I don't recommend anyone trading it because you can make a lot of money real quick, but you can also lose a lot of money real quick. So Roche, did you understand how that worked? Once you subscribe to the strategy, we have videos explaining everything there. So once you subscribe to the strategy, you'll have access to the K2 indicators, and you'll be able to apply this on your own. It's real simple. You just match colors basically. So let me go to I'm gonna go check it out. So it's like it looks like it could be coming down soon. This looks like it'd be a good entry actually. Looks like it'd be a good scalp entry. Let's see. Yeah, are you looking at US 30? This is a pretty strong support, it looks like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably would.
If it breaks, it's gonna tank.
What was that?
I said if it breaks below that support area, it's gonna tank so hard.
Yeah, entry might be good, like right below it or something.
But honestly, the market just opened, so it could possibly just retrace up, just to retest that resistance before shooting back down and creating a new low.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's gonna break below it. Check the
It's
NASDAQ.
been dropping for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see where that goes. Yeah, I don't really see anything else right now. I mean, it is Sunday, so market's generally really slow today until 11, once the other markets start to open up. I think everyone's still waiting for GU. Yeah, GU looks like it's still pretty far off. We got a couple trades. We got a signal for
silver or gold.
That's silver. Yeah, but it's not trending, so I wouldn't take that. Let's see what else we got here.
Wait, check US 30, bro.
We got Bitcoin
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's valid. They're just signal there. US 30 looks like it could be coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is way too close. I'm probably gonna put this somewhere down. Yeah, if anyone wants to scalp US 30, I think that'd be a good entry. I'm probably gonna put that on for myself. I'm not gonna type it up because it's gonna move way too fast. If you guys want to enter this, more than welcome. I'm gonna put it in my phone too. Salsa. 1-8.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, what's up, Aaron?
Yeah, you had a question from Ali.
You're 30. Yes, Roche. I trade all indices, mostly US 30, Jura 30, which would be the German DAX, and also the Australian 200. Those are the three main indices that I trade. I do like Jura 30, but that one moves like it moves like every second. It moves about like 10, 20 pips. So I'm not too familiar with how that one moves. So I don't trade that one as often, but I do trade that one every once in a while when I get a valid entry. I'll pull it up right now. Just 1 second. I'm putting this US 30 trade on my phone. I'm gonna scalp that. So I'm scalping that with the NASDAQ. Let's look at Jura 30. The German DAX. It's basically the same thing. So if you look at the German DAX and then you look at US 30 like side by side, it looks exactly the same. You can see here it's retracing a little bit. It's also retracing a little bit on the US 30. Same with the NASDAQ. Same with Australian 200. All of the indices move in the same direction. So yeah, if you wanted to enter this trade, it'd be the same thing as we were doing with the other trades. So you could enter somewhere around here. I mean, I might even enter this myself. It looks so good. So it'd be the same thing, like the same strategy I showed you previously, the K2 pullback strategy. Hey Joey, I'll show you. It's right here. There you go. It's just this is gonna be a quick scalp. It's not really it's not gonna be a big move. If you want to take it, these are my parameters. So entry price, profit target, and stop loss. I don't send this in the chat because it moves way too fast. So by the time I post it, it might hit profit target, and a lot of people end up entering the trade later. And I don't want people to get caught in a late trade. So whoever is here in the live trading room, you guys will get my indices scalps. I generally am not going to post these in the groups. I'll leave this up for another couple minutes, and then I'll go back to the German DAX so we can look at that. Yeah, reasons to self-stop order. Yeah, generally, if price is above the entry, it'll be a sell stop. But if price is below, it'll be a sell limit. So those are parameters. I'll give you guys another couple minutes before I go back to the German DAX. All right, cool. So I'm going to go back to the German DAX just to take a look at it. Yeah, it does look like it's coming down. It looks like price might come up. I mean, it looks like this might have been the high right here. Because it doesn't look like it's pulling up too high. I mean, it could pull up higher. I think this is as high as it'll go, but it might go up a little higher. But if it doesn't, I think it's going to bounce from where it is currently, come back down with the rest of the indices, and then even further below. I mean, if not, it might come down from up here. But I don't think it's going to be bullish for very long, especially with, it looks like there's news at 8 a.m. tomorrow. That's going to affect it heavily. Not right now. Personally, I wouldn't. You could enter a sell stop, like how I was saying previously, if you're using the the K2 pullback strategy. Yeah, so if you are using the K2 pullback strategy, you would just set it up how you normally would. Maybe at the low of this one. It'd be the low of the signal candle. So as you can see here, if this happens right here, then price will come down and fill your order, and probably come down here and come down right here and hit profit target. But if price was to fill your order and come down here, that'd be about close to 450 pips. So once it got there, I would move the stop loss and profit. So you'd eliminate all your risk and then just write it down. But it looks like it's coming down now. So it looks like our US 30 might get filled as well. Yeah, all these look like they're coming down right now. There goes our NASDAQ, S&P, everything. Yeah, technically I wouldn't enter a sell, but if you want to enter a sell stop, you can take these parameters. The problem is it's pretty wide. You're going for like about 2,000 pips. I'm sure if you're familiar with the German DAX, it's worth a lot more. So you're going to be risking a lot if you're going to be going for the full move. I'll leave this up if you want to take that. I already have 2 indices trades open, so I'm not going to enter another one. But I do have one for NASDAQ and for the US 30. Hey, Jaime. Yeah, for trades that I normally have open for Forex, I have as many as I can fill at once. But for indices, I don't like to have more than 2 open, or maybe even just 1, because they all move in the same direction. And indices are worth like 10 to 100 times more than a Forex pair. So you're going to be risking a lot more trading indices than Forex, and that's why I only have a few open for indices. But for Forex, I could have as many open as possible. Some reasons NAS. Yeah, pretty much. The NASDAQ it's a little cheaper than the US 30. I think the NASDAQ and the S&P, they're both a little cheaper. So if you can afford to trade the US 30, then yeah, you could trade NAS or S&P. They're about they move basically the same way. So is it possible to build up 100 to 2K within 1 week? No, impossible. I mean, it's possible, but you're going to be over leveraging. We don't recommend you over leverage because you can lose that 100 in one trade if you're going to be over leveraging with that. But yeah, I mean, it is possible. Technically, it's possible, but odds are you're not going to be able to hit that because you can't even trade indices with that much. If you're trading normal Forex, it's going to be even harder because pips aren't worth as much as in Forex as they are with indices. Like for here, I'll show you how much I made. Aaron, do you remember that post? Okay, here we go. So this is my account, Roche. I started with a 500 deposit. I flipped it to nearly 3,000 in a week. But this is only because I know what I'm doing. I don't expect you to do what I'm doing because I've been trading for quite some time and I know what I'm doing. But for a new trader, this isn't realistic. It's realistic for someone like me, but not for anyone else that doesn't know what they're doing. Your trade? No, you can't. You can't trade Jur, or you can't trade Jur or US 30 with an account that small. You need at least 1,000. I mean, yeah, you can try then. If you think you can do it, then by all means go ahead and try. But I'm telling you, it's probably not going to be possible because if you
It's way too.
because if you could do it, you wouldn't be asking me. But I mean, you can go ahead and try.
It's dropping, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, entry needs to be perfect. Like you don't see results like this all the time. You don't see someone flipping 500 to 3,000 in a week. and it was risky trades too. I was just scalping, and like luckily for me, I didn't lose any trades that week, so that's why I was able to flip it so quickly. For a normal person, I don't expect anyone to be able to do that. Yeah, exactly. You have to risk your entire account. I mean, per trade basically. And you have to be able to monitor your trade to get in and out, super quickly. I mean, you've been trading for 2 years. I've been trading for 8 years, so I've blown a lot of accounts, so I kind of know what to expect and how to manage my risk properly depending on market conditions. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you want to make a lot of money, you're gonna have to lose a lot of money, or you have to risk both. It's gonna be one way or the other. It looks like our Nasdaq is moving down.
Yes, it is.
In the US 32. Aaron, do you think I should post this?
I mean, it's looking pretty nice.
I mean, they're all gonna move.
It could tank tomorrow, to be honest.
I mean, it could tank right now.
It's once it breaks past that low, it's over with.
Yeah, once it breaks this, it's gonna come shooting. And the thing is, like, if we get that buy signal right here and then we get a sell signal right after, it's gonna, it could catch huge momentum swing. But
Exactly. Yep.
A little.
It's coming down too. This is crazy.
Yeah, what do you think? You guys should post it, the full move?
Yeah, you could. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, the full move would be 6,000. Yeah, that's a big move. I mean, that's right.
Joe said no.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't listen, bro. And it's Sunday too.
Yeah, like this scalp move, but the full move, that's kind of pushing it because, I mean, most people can't even handle this 6,000 pips.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the scalp move for you guys. Yeah, those are right.
I mean, when you're trading US 30, you should always be in and out. It just moves so fast.
Yeah, like most of the time I watch it manually and I just I have it open and I have it where it's ready to close, where I can just click on it and close it once I'm in profit.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that for sure. Yeah, the thing, Sarosh, with me, as you can see here, like when I posted that, whenever my account goes over 1,000, I withdraw. So you can see here I withdrew, 1,000, 1,545. And then if you go like higher, I always withdraw. Like once it gets above a certain amount, see like right here I was up 2,657. They're all wins. But you can see here on the 15th I withdrew 1,000. See, whenever it goes above 1,000, I withdraw because you need to manage your risk properly.
Exactly. Always reward yourself.
Yeah, you always gotta pay yourself. Like you gotta pay yourself too. And see here, I took off another 1,500. Like whenever it goes above 1,000, I take it out because I know if I leave the money in there, I'm gonna get greedy and I'm gonna risk it all again. And you're better off just like building a couple thousand a day, if not like a week, than blowing it all in one day as well. And then that's the biggest key for a lot of people. A lot of people don't understand proper risk management. And the thing is, you need to make sure to protect your capital because you got to live to trade another day. If you blow all your money on one trade or like in one day, then you're screwed and it's like recover. Yeah, and these indices take so long. They're probably not going to get a lot of movement until London session. Let me see. Ruth said something in the premium. He said podcast. So Ruth was asking if that's a valid sell. Aaron, why didn't we take this one again? I forgot.
I think it was it too close to SR?
Um,
How far is it from SR? I mean, from the support.
like 50 pips.
You said 15
No, 50.
or 50?
Yeah. We went on before we. I know we looked at it before we went on live, but I don't remember.
It should be a good one.
I'm gonna send this to Ruth in the premium. She was asking about it.
It would have been a pullback, right?
No, it's a valid. It's a sell and sell. I think we were waiting for the pullback. That's what we were doing. Here. All right, cool. Does anyone have any questions? If anything, we might go offline temporarily. I'm gonna go have dinner, and then I'll probably come back on for a London session. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I can answer them right now. If not, we'll be back maybe in a couple hours. If not tonight, then we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be doing this daily, so you guys can get the help that you guys need. Let's see. Yeah, I'm so tempted to like leave this open, Aaron, but man, it's crazy. On oil, hey Rodney, so do you want to see U.S. oil or UK oil? I follow both. U.S. See, so it's an overall downtrend. You can see from like previous data down here, downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. So if anything, what I anticipate is that it's going to keep coming down. Depending, are you trading intraday or are you trading scalping? Because if you're trading intraday, it looks like we're not really waiting for anything, Jermaine. We're just waiting for signals to come in. We haven't had anything yet. But there's going to be more volatility when it's London. So that might be when it's going to be time for signals to come in. At 24. All right, cool. So it looks like you bought right there. I mean, sold. Yeah, so you sold at 24. Looks like it's retracing right now. It might come up and retrace to the K2SR. And then it's probably going to come back down like that. And then correct to the overall trend. There's actually an entry right now. If you wanted to enter this, it'd be right here. For a K2 pullback entry. And yeah, it lines up perfectly. So this is exactly what I see happening. So I think you should be fine if you have to sell. It looks like it's coming down. It might not even pull down all the way to the SR. It looks like this might be the next high. So if anything, you might pull back to this area. Right here. And then it might come down from that area. So it'll come back right there and then just come straight down. That's what I see coming. But yeah, Jermaine, we're just waiting for signals to come in. We have signals that did come in, but none of them are valid. So we're probably going to see more once London opens, or once it gets closer to London. Usually around 10, so like an hour from now, that's when the trades start to set up and pre-market opens. That's when people start putting in their trades from London. And then around midnight, it'll be the London breakout. Oh, did NOS come down already? Oh, ours didn't fill yet. You're riding. So you got in I'm assuming you got in earlier, right? So I don't see. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. No, this looks like a higher. So the thing is, if this candle closes strong bearish, which it looks like it is, I see it coming all the way down to a profit target. Because this is a classic price action move. You know, the high has been established here, and then the bearish following candle will confirm for a breakout downwards. So you got like prime entry if you're in already. So that's gonna look good. I got an entry for that, and I also got an entry for USW. Yeah, looks like they're both coming down pretty heavy. That's gonna be cool. And it looks like it's coming down, but it's gonna take some time. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go grab some dinner. If you guys want to come on later, if you guys have any other questions, just put them in the premium chat, or you can put them in the public as well. And then once we come on later, we can go over those questions. Otherwise, if you guys have anything that you need me to analyze right now, feel free to let me know. I'll give it about 3 more minutes once it hits 9. Then we call it what time later. If we do come on later, it'll probably be, Aaron, what time are you free? Are you going to be around?
Yeah, I'll be up.
All right, cool. Yeah, so if we come on later, it'll probably be closer to midnight. Oh, yeah, so it's going to be late for you over there. It's already midnight in New York. Because London isn't open until midnight our time. So London doesn't open for another 3 hours. So I don't know if you're going to be up at 3 a.m., but that's the time that London opens. But if not, we're going to be on again tomorrow. So I'm doing this live trading room every day now. Yeah, no, we'll try to be on. Jermaine, I know you're in the premium, so if we're on, I'll let you guys know. Jeremy needs to pass 4 a.m. Dang, he's fashions up really early. Yeah, so when it's 4 a.m. there, so once it hits, midnight over there, it's gonna be what, like 7 a.m. That's when they open. So yeah, I'll let you guys know in the chat if we're gonna be on around midnight. I mean, if not, we'll be on tomorrow for New York. It's just gonna depend if we see anything available, because it's still Sunday, so price is moving a little slow. But if it does pick up around midnight, then we'll definitely come on and we'll try to give you guys some live trades. But it looks like the US 30 is going to get filled. So if you guys are in that scalp, looks like it could be good for us. Also with the NASDAQ, yeah, they're getting really close to entry points. There we go. Yeah, it's not too far. It's about 500 pips. Yeah, US 30. We have a scalp move right here. I don't know if you saw that. We might have sent this before you got in the chat. This is a scalp move that I'm looking to take. If you want to take it, it's right there. I didn't put it in the chat because it moves too fast. I don't want people taking it late. But if you do want to take it, there's the parameters, entry, top target, and the stop loss. country shuts down? Not really, because if, well, depending on which country you're talking about. Are you talking about European country or U.S.? I got signals right here. U.S. I mean, the U.S. isn't going to shut down. Did you read that somewhere? I don't see the U.S. shutting down anytime soon. Oh yeah, just rumors. I mean, it's impossible for the U.S. to shut down. You know, the U.S. is such a big country. No, it won't make a difference because well, I mean, it'll make a difference for the indices because obviously if the U.S. market shut down, then the U.S. stock market's not going to be moving. It's going to be frozen. But for Forex, it's not really going to affect it because even though the U.S. market's closed, other markets are still open. So it's kind of similar during the holidays. So if you traded during the holidays, you would have seen that the market was a little slow because the U.S. market was closed. But the Forex market was still open, and you're still able to trade. It just wasn't very volatile since the U.S. is one of the largest markets. Yeah, we're gonna make money regardless. Market's closed for the U.S. We're still gonna trade. Let's see this. We got a couple signals for Australian 200, S&P. We already have the two indices trades though, so I'm not going to be looking at those. You got Australian, New Zealand dollar, not valid. Okay, nothing's valid. Gold.
Once AUD, so once AUD CAD closes, you'll call that pullback, or should we call it?
Yeah, that'd be a good call. So if that closes, I mean, that's for this candle, huh? So that one just opened. So yeah, we'd have to wait like 30 minutes for that one. But here, I'll look at gold real quick before I get off. So it looks like gold is also in a heavy downtrend. So what I see here is I see it testing, which it already has right here. It's been testing this for a long time now. I think it's going to test it again and come down. But what I would wait for is I would wait for some type of bearish confirmation. So something that you'll want to look out for is, let me try to look for an example. Might have been something like that. Actually, no. Oh, you bought gold. Gold isn't moving how it's supposed to, because usually when the US 30 is going down, gold is supposed to go up, but it's been in a downtrend, so it's not moving how fundamentals normally work. So I mean, personally, I wouldn't have bought it because it's in a heavy downtrend. Like, I would never go against the trend, especially if it's this strong, because like this is what happened here. So it came down, retraced a little bit, and then I think it's going to come down pretty heavy, like that. Block order? I'm not. What do you mean by block order? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Aaron, do you know what she means by block order?
I never heard of it before.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. Yeah, this is what I see happening. I don't. You can see here that price has been testing this resistance for a long time, and if it hasn't broken it by now, I think it's going to come back down. It might have a little gap up like it did right here. It looks like this was affected by something due to the wick. But you can see here it tried to break, but it couldn't hold. It broke, then it came back down. broke, came back down. It broke again right here, and then it came back down. So I think what's going to happen here is it's going to come reject off the SR and then come down heavily. So personally, I wouldn't be in the buy. Maybe you could even go on the higher time frames. It's even clearer on here. Looks like this was the high right here. It looks like it's coming down. Yeah, Ben. So Roche was asking about gold. It's been in a heavy downtrend for a long time now, for about a week, 2 weeks. So personally, I wouldn't buy anything. I mean, I wouldn't buy gold. I would just sell because it looks like it's losing its power right here in the retracement, and I think it's going to come back down. It might come up to test the SR, but I mean, odds are it's probably not going to. Especially if this candle closes bearish, as you can see the wicks. Let's go back to the US 30. Yeah, it looks like market's really slow right now. So I'm gonna get off right now, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them out in the chat, and then I'll try to hop on a little later. Otherwise, I'll be on again tomorrow morning, around 9 a.m. I'll probably put out another poll to see what's the best time for all you guys, and I'll try to accommodate for the best time for everyone. All right, guys, I'm gonna put this on YouTube. So after it's converting, it should be up in about maybe 4 or 5 hours. Otherwise, Aaron, you got anything else you want to put in, or you good?
We should be good.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off for a little bit. Me and Aaron will try to be on in about 2 or 3 hours. If not, we'll be on tomorrow morning. All right, guys, till then.